Good morning. It is 8 a.m. on the button on Tuesday, March 15th, 2022. It's the Ides of March, right? Yeah. Yeah, it is. I always forget whether it's the 5th or the 15th. I'm pretty sure it's today. So, beware. Uh, my sleep schedule has been disrupted a little bit the last couple of days because for some reason Rocket is waking up and wanting to go outside a bit earlier, which is a little bit strange because I think the effect on me is being amplified by the time change, but I can't understand how the time change would make any difference to him, because basically, he's waking up earlier than it would have been without the time change. But it's also possible that the time that the sun goes down compared to when we go to bed might, who knows what kind of rhythm, there is. But it's one of those dilemmas, though, because when, and he has woken up and wants to go out, it's like you want to encourage him to sleep until it's the right time, but anyway. But so we went out, and it was still very dark out when I initially took him outside. And there's a place behind our building, sort of like the back parking lot area where I usually take him when we're going just in and out. But you can see from there back over part of the path along the river. And when we were back over there, we could see through kind of the fence that's there someone who is walking on the trail along the river with one of those little, lights that you wear on your forehead. And so it was a little, like I recognized immediately what it was, of course, but it's a little uncanny seeing the light move like that from a distance. And boy, Rocket flipped the heck out. He's just full on, like an earnest, like, oh my god, red alert, sound the alarms. Poor little dog was just, very concerned about what that strange light was and had to be soothed. And he was just on edge a little bit even after that. Like he was trying to bark. Even when we came back out inside, he was trying to bark out the window. Um, and that didn't help me get back to sleep, even though it was still, 4:45 in the morning. But I did get back to sleep a little bit, at least. Still a little groggy, but time to start the day. So yeah, just doing all right. Continuing to play a lot of Elden Ring. Turns out it's a good game. I'm liking it a lot, and in particular, yesterday was just kind of got some of the sweet spot of uh, the most fun stuff in that game, which is when you're in an area where individual enemies you can take out pretty easily as long as you're careful. But there's a lot of them, so you have to be careful and strategic in order to try to avoid getting swarmed by them. But you can make your way through, and then there's a lot. It's an interesting area to be in, and then you come up against a boss where you don't succeed in defeating him initially, but you manage to do some significant damage, and you start thinking, wait, no, okay, I can do this one if I can get the fight right. If I can learn his moves a little better, experiment with maybe a different weapon or a different spell or something like that to try to figure out what's the right strategy for this guy. And then after 5 or 6 iterations, it works. You've defeated the boss. It's a great feeling. That's the good stuff in these games. That's when people say they like the games, that's what they're talking about. It's pretty good. I also did a fair amount of prep creating characters for our root campaign yesterday. We played a different game this past Saturday because I wanted to spend a little more time preparing for the game. And one of the things that I used in this prep session was as part of the Kickstarter for the actual RPG game. I got this, which is the Denizens deck. And what it is it's basically just like a deck of cards that has a whole bunch of just like NPC ideas on it. And I took a couple of them pretty much just right out of the box. But also there's a couple where I just used them for inspiration. And it was a great way actually to just sort of like populate this new town a little bit, and also give me some ideas for what sort of problems they might be having that the vagabonds in the party might be able to help with. So, and in the meantime, though, I hope all of you have a good day, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.